Welcome back. We have Chef Anthony this morning from Pittsburgh High School joining us with a couple of birds. I'm told they're not pets. They are a project.
Yes, they are. This is our class project right now. We're talking a lot about sustainability and knowledge of where your food comes from. So we've talked about victory gardens and having chickens at home and understanding where beef comes from and how it's raised and the quality and things that are necessary to get from point A to point B.
Right.
So this is Howard and Bernadette. They are cute little ducklings. They are now class project, but they're learning to understand what it takes to raise an animal, what the expectations are, the harvesting, the needs that go into it. But on top of everything else, they're gaining an understanding of why we want things like this around.
Do you know which one is which?
Howard is the one with the really dark face, and Bernadette's the one without the dark face.
Okay. So you know by naming them, it's going to be even harder at the end of this project.
Well, if you ask me, their names are Peking and Foie Gras.
So what kind of ducks do we have here?
You know, I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
Yummy ones. They're will very likely, I hope my students aren't watching this, very likely not going to end up on their plate, but they think they might end up on their plate. But it's important for them to understand this. I took the idea from Gordon Ramsay, who wanted to educate his children about what it takes to get Thanksgiving dinner on their plate.
Okay.
So they went out and they bought 5 live turkeys. And his kids raised the turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Let me guess, he has 4 kids.
Yes. 4 kids, and one of the turkeys was his. So they raised the turkeys, they took care of them, they learned how to take care of them. Well, from my understanding, they didn't make it onto the plate. I don't know for certain, but I don't think they did.
That's a lot of pardons.
It is a lot of pardons. But we live in an area where we teach our kids about food. They're recognized food. They understand where grain comes from. But 1 in 6 Americans between the ages of 12 and 65 believe that chocolate milk comes from a brown cow.
Oh, no.
That's a little more than the population of the state of Pennsylvania. So we are failing our next generations if we don't educate them about it. Having chickens at home reduces your waste because they'll eat all the organic waste coming out of your kitchens. So you can feed them that. They grow up, they produce eggs. You don't have to put them on the kitchen table until they're old, but they'll produce eggs so you can save money on your egg consumption and your waste bill goes down.
Very true.
Learning about all of this, I mean, it's the circle of life is exactly what it is. It's learning about all of it, all aspects of it. And today, in the next hour, we're going to make these beautiful duck breasts. So we're going to see what these guys can become.
Okay, so ducks like these, how long would you need to raise them if your goal was to raise them to eat, to get them to the size to have duck breasts like this?
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months.
Yes. So, and it doesn't take very long. These guys would normally be in a coop outside, but because I don't have a coop outside and my students interact with them on a daily basis, I keep them in this. When they get a little bit bigger, this will be too small for them. I'll get something larger for them. But to me, food is all about learning and family and happiness and all that other stuff. And to see students coming from around the building, to see them, to interact with them, to play with them, it warms my heart.
You were definitely telling me that Howard has imprinted on you, and I believe it. Your voice has been so soothing to him throughout this that he is now asleep.
They do really great. My kids have dressed them up in little skirts. So it's great.
Fun.
But everything we're going to do for the next segment is all right here. This is everything you need.
Okay. Well, when we come back on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, we're going to show you how to make roasted duck breast, not with Howard and Bernadette. Don't worry. We'll be right back.